So a very good evening to this evening's session, which we call Crypto for Beginners, the Basics. So today is Monday, the 23rd of November. So all the information I will give you this evening will be market data, which is correct as of today. So I'm broadcasting at 6:05 London time. So the intention of this evening's presentation is that it's intended for people that are interested in crypto, probably have heard a little bit about it, but are just looking to find out more. It's obviously quite a complicated subject. So this presentation that we run every couple of weeks typically is really popular with people who are really just looking to educate themselves. So I've got some slides that I want to show you. So for those of you that are watching this live, obviously I will spend about 15-20 minutes running through these slides. And for those of you that are listen again, the presentation will cease and I will Q&A to my people that are listening live. So those of you that are listening live, do feel free to use the chat function. So if you're new to Zoom, which I don't think is many people in the world right now, there's a chat button at the bottom. So if you have any questions, do feel free to jot them down. I'll try and answer them as I'm talking, or of course I'll come to them at the end. So a quick disclaimer, the information that I'm going to discuss in the next 15-20 minutes is not investment advice, financial advice, or trading advice. Rather, it's general information about crypto, a bit of background about Daxy, which is a business that I work for, and hopefully will act as information, education, and inspiration. So Daxy is a crypto exchange. So we are one of the places that you can purchase crypto. So you can change either your lovely British pounds, or some of our clients have got euros or dollars, into cryptocurrency. And there's a number of exchanges out there. Of course, we have a UK base, so we're quite popular with a British audience. And we're the best way, we believe, people to buy, store and learn about cryptocurrency. So we're considered the specialist for people that are new to crypto and are trying to find out a little bit more. And we put out lots of resources, such as the webinar and other webinars that we provide, and lots of other things like ebooks and blue papers, just for people that want to hear about crypto, which of course are always free and we hope are easily accessible. So the presentation this evening, I'm going to cover the basics of crypto, so how it works and what it does. Most people in the world, I think, have heard of it now, which probably wasn't the case sort of 3-4 years ago. How people are making money out of crypto today, the last couple of weeks, and in fact, the whole of this year has been phenomenal. So I'll talk a little bit about that. What to avoid, keeping yourself safe. Of course, any financial investment carries some risk, and of course, particularly when you're doing that in a digital format. Where we're at in the investment cycle, and of course how you can get involved should you want to do so. So this is a selection of some of the publications that I've personally written for this year. So I actually took up being managing director of Daxy in the UK in February. So I'm responsible for Daxy both in the UK and in Europe. Most of our customers currently are focused on the UK and Ireland, both north and south. I spend a lot of time writing about crypto, whether it's crypto's adoption or where the marketplace is going. And obviously, there's a lot going on in the industry right now. So I write a lot both for specialist crypto publications, I write a lot for fintech publications, and increasingly I'm writing a lot for general banking, so whether it's the Global Banking Review or Wealth Tribune. So lots and lots going on, and Daxy is very privileged to be considered an expert. I'm also in the middle of writing a chapter for a book, so I sent that to print last week. I've got a whole book out next year, and I've recently been nominated for an industry award. So I'm probably, I like to think, quite a good person to tell you about crypto and answer some of your questions. So a quick run through of why lots of people are coming to crypto right now. So of course, it's been a really dreadful year in the UK and indeed globally with coronavirus, and it's not my position to sit here and depress anybody. But I think it would be fair to say that a lot of people that are purchasing crypto today probably wouldn't consider doing so if the UK economy was in a brilliant state. FCA, which of course is our regulator in the UK, put out some research over the summer, what's called a research note, which said that approximately 3.5% of the UK population owns some crypto. And they also said that that had doubled since last year. So there's a lot of increasing concentration of interest from retail investors. And of course, one of the reasons for that is that our traditional financial investments are doing so badly. So of course, the FTSE 100 is a really good health check for the UK economy because of course it's our top 100 traded companies. And we lost about 30%. You can see that kind of cliff edge in March 2020. And right now today, the FTSE closed, I just did some figures before we came online. So it's down by about 17%. So of course, a very bad snapshot of the UK economy as a whole. And of course, a lot of our pensions and savings and what have you are related to that performance. So of course, a lot of chat in the newspapers about how we will pay for the coronavirus crisis and all the support that obviously businesses and individuals have quite understandably needed over the previous months, and of course, looking forwards. So one of the major challenges we've got in the UK and as a banking industry is those interest rates. So this is just a screenshot that I was looking at money.co.uk, which is one of the comparison websites. And obviously there's loads of different versions of that. And essentially, if you've got money in the bank, you're typically getting around 1% or lower for cash. So obviously we've had some really interesting things going on with our Bank of England, which of course sets our base rate. So we currently have a base rate of 0.1%, which is the lowest bank base rate on record. So in the couple of hundred years that the Bank of England has been around, that is the lowest ever interest rate that we will be receiving on our cash. So dreadful news for savers. And it is my opinion, I've been putting it in the press for about the last 6 months, that we will see negative interest rates in the UK. So for those people like me that, are used to interest rates being at, 4 or 5%, seeing negative interest rates really is really quite shocking. So the other thing we do a lot is we spend a lot of time talking to property investors. So obviously in the UK, we've been really privileged to have some really strong growth in our property prices over an extended period. So there was a long period of time where property prices were pretty much doubling every 5 to 7 years. And that took a really huge hit during the general financial crisis in 2008. And whilst we have recovered from some of that, obviously that growth in the last couple of years has been sporadic at best. I do a lot of work with different property investors, and I'm personally a property investor. I've been buying and renovating properties since 2005. And actually recently, because those yields are quite depressing, because those deposits are quite large, and because I think a lot of the people that rent property are up for some pain, I'm personally more focused on crypto right now. And we work with a lot of property investors that are diversifying into crypto. So we have a little joke at Daxy that there's 3 reasons why people buy crypto, and that is growth, growth, and also growth. So that's pretty simple. And I just want to look at some of those figures so far this year to date. So again, these are correct up to about 5 minutes before we came on air and started broadcasting. So Ethereum is up 358% so far this year. Bitcoin is up 153%. Dacxi, which is our community coin, is up 58%. Litecoin's up 111%. And by contrast, the FTSE 100, as I mentioned earlier, is down 17%. So for that reason, there's lots of people that are diversifying a very small proportion of their cash into crypto. And it's also why we are the leading business, which we don't talk about trading. Very few of people that purchase crypto through our exchange are looking to trade it. Rather, they're typically looking to hold it for the short to medium term as a strategy. So I think it's really key to understand that, we're not an advisory business. We don't tell people what to do with their cash. But as you can see, there's some really interesting growth stats there. And for that reason, people are diversifying just a small amount, and at the very least, trying to learn a bit more about crypto. So I just want to talk about some of that technology and how it works. So I think, as I said, most people now have heard of crypto. Most people have heard of Bitcoin at the very least. So blockchain, you'll probably hear talked about a lot as an incoming wave of technology, which I think is incorrect because we've had it around for a couple of decades now. So it's certainly not new in terms of technology, but it probably is fairly new in terms of its adoption. So blockchain is very simply a new type of database. Typically, information was held in one place, and you would ping that database for the information. With blockchain, that information is held across the users. And you'll sometimes hear that called distributed ledger technology. And that type of database, the blockchain, underpins cryptocurrency. So you'll see blockchain being used across a number of industries, whether it's agriculture or health tech or supply chain. Daxy, for me personally, is my 3rd blockchain business. So you'll see lots of applications, and it really is a very well-established technology. And one of the things we talk about a lot at Daxy, and you'll see it in a couple of slides' time, is that blockchain and crypto is the evolution of various technologies we have around right now. So I think for those of you that are old enough to remember personal computers coming in, and then we had mobile phones, and then we had smartphones. Blockchain is a wave of technology which is coming at us like a steam train. So just to talk specifically about payments and banking, which of course is our interest. I think when I meet people that bought crypto in 2017. I'm always astounded by their bravery. Essentially, they were buying something that no one had ever heard of, that was unproven. So fast forward today, I think if you ask the question, is crypto real and is it definitely here to stay? There is some fairly persuasive evidence out there. And the main one is the payments and the retail industry coming to use it, because the bigger the audience for crypto, the better it is for the various cryptocurrencies and the industry as a whole. So a couple of examples of that, MasterCard obviously is one of the world's biggest payment businesses. They've got crypto wallet projects and they've actually got 80 patents in blockchain technology. Visa holds 24 patents in blockchain, and you can today pay in crypto via a relationship they have with Coinbase. And they're also investing in funding crypto startups that they can work with. And in July this year, they announced they'll be working much more closely to bridge that gap between crypto platforms like Daxy and the crypto businesses. So bearing in mind, they've got 61 million merchants and 1 billion people using it. That is a substantial audience. And actually, Visa is helping global policymakers, including the World Economic Forum. PayPal was probably the biggest news of the summer. They've actually now started offering crypto to their users, which is 320 million plus people. And actually, a lot of the analysts think that some of the great gains we saw over the summer was down to PayPal purchasing a significant proportion of the global supply of Bitcoin to use on their platform. You'll also see some of the big retail businesses such as eBay. They've already said they want to accept it as a method of payment. Amazon is collaborating with blockchain businesses, and you can actually spend crypto today via Fold, Amazon, Starbucks, and Uber. So loads of businesses that are adopting this technology as they feel it is the incoming dominant technology. So I suppose it's very similar to having, chip and pin. Obviously, you don't go many places that don't have that. I can remember we used to give you a credit card and put it in that machine that made loads of noise. So really, in terms of payments, crypto is probably already here, to be brutally honest. The other thing you'll see is a lot of work happening with the currencies globally. So you'll see a lot of talk about what's called digitized currencies, so central bank digitized currencies, which means essentially the banks moving away from physical currency and using a digital version. So the World Economic Forum has reported that a significant amount of our central banks are looking at that, probably about 80%, and that actually includes the Bank of England. It's likely that the Central Bank of China will be the first country to do that. So it's highly likely, even for people that don't really like crypto, you'll be using it in the near future, even if you don't really realize it. Certainly in Europe, which I know is a bit of a swear word now, we're officially out of it. Doesn't feel like it, but apparently we are. The EU has got a new set of rules that says by 2024, they'll be using blockchain and crypto assets like stable coins. So again, just a lot of evidence that this is coming together as a faster, quicker, cheaper way of moving money. And for that reason, you'll see a lot of the really famous financial institutions, sort of the high street names, adopting it because it is such a cheaper way of moving money. Obviously, that's very interesting to a number of businesses. So particularly when you see big hedge funds and asset managers talking about particularly Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. I think that if you look at some of those tier one banks, such as JP Morgan and Citi talking very actively about it. We saw this week BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset manager, coming out in support of Bitcoin. I think it just tells its own story, really. These businesses that were previously fairly anti are now coming out. One of my favorite stories for the summer is at the beginning of the summer, Goldman Sachs had a phone call to their client bank and said, absolutely not, Bitcoin is a dreadful idea. And by the end of the summer had actually acquired a new global head of digital assets and was considering launching their own. So it's all stuff that you can look into. Lots of these banks, despite the fact that crypto is eating their lunch, are now forcibly coming to the table. And a survey by Fidelity, which is a well-known asset manager, reckons that about 1/3 of institutional investors, have purchased crypto assets. So just looking at kind of where we are now, obviously cryptos have had a fair amount of volatility. So this is the life cycle for Bitcoin so far to date, just because it's the most well-known one. So one of the reasons why we personally are not a business that talks very much about trading, all of our platform users are after a short to medium term hold, is because there is some volatility there. So obviously we acknowledge that, and we can see that after each correction, it does go on to a higher high. And we feel that the majority of the recent gains are due to those institutions coming to the table. So if you look at daily volumes, so today being the 23rd of November, 165 billion pounds worth of Bitcoin has been traded in the last 24 hours. That is not just a bunch of small individual people sitting at home and doing it. So it is our opinion, and we've been saying it for about 18 months, that that fifth boom will be generated by institutional investors. And so far we have been correct, which is lovely. So I just want to talk about what we mean by crypto. I think it's a really challenging topic to get into from a standing start. So there's actually over 7,000 different cryptocurrencies. So if you wake up and think that you look and want to get involved, it's obviously quite a lot to get your head around. And if you look at some of those trading volumes a day, 31 billion quids worth of Bitcoin, 21 billion quids worth of Ethereum, 5 billion quids worth of Litecoin. Out of all of those cryptocurrencies, out of the 7,500, those top three make up about 70% of all traded volume. So I'll just say that again, there's basically 7,500, and yet three of them are about 70% of what people want. So for that reason, Daxi as a business is not interested in some very niche esoteric coins, because our opinion is that in the medium term, that market will consolidate and the vast majority will not flourish. So Daxi is now 3 years old, and we've been talking about Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum over that period of time. And PayPal, when they launched in the summer, came out and only sold those three plus Bitcoin Cash. So we're very focused on what we believe is reputable and sensible coins. So a bit of background about Daxi. As I mentioned, we're one of the ways that you can purchase crypto. We do that in a safe, easy and secure way. I'll talk about cybersecurity on the next slide. We have UK offices and we're licensed in Europe. We'll also be launching some ISA and pension products early next year. And it's our long-term aspiration to be in crowdfunding. I personally come from a peer-to-peer background. So our sort of next stop after we've really done a very good job being an exchange is to provide crypto for crowdfunding. And we believe we've got the largest client services team of any crypto business, just by virtue of we have a slightly older crowd. Lots of the crypto exchanges are aimed at millennials. Our crowd tends to be slightly older. So one of the things I wanted to show you was that we have an A+ security rating. If, like me, you're old enough to remember internet banking coming in and phone banking coming in, there was understandably a lot of focus on security and how that works for its users. So the Mozilla Observatory is an independent check of any website in the world. You can go on there, it's free, you haven't got to sign up or anything. So if you look at most of the high street banks, they all have platforms that rate between a C and an F rating. So of course we have the highest security rating available, and that's independently done, and you can check that whenever you like. My last checked a few weeks ago, but I'm aware it is still A+ at the moment. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that Daxi has on our platform. So we have 3 different programs. The blue chip bundle has been very popular. It's a crypto bundle. So whatever you purchase through Daxi is held in your own account and under your own name. We're not a fund, we're not derivatives. You literally hold it. It looks a lot like an online banking app, and I'll show you a screenshot on the next slide. So the blue chip crypto bundle, whatever you purchase will be split between 50% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, 10% Litecoin, and 20% the Dacxi, with an extra 10% as a bonus. And the reason why we've split between those 4 coins is every couple of months we sit down and actually stress test that combination. We look backwards at what's happened. So the performance this year is that selection of 4 coins would have outperformed pure Bitcoin by over 100%. And every couple of months we look and see if that combination of the 4 is the right answer. And at the moment it most definitely is. We also have a precious metals bundle, which is very popular with our clients that are focused on wealth preservation. And we have a presentation about precious metals. I'm afraid I don't quite have enough time this evening to go into any massive amount of detail. And for similar reasons, that's split between gold, silver, platinum, and the DAC. And we also have our DAC, which is our community coin, which has shown the most growth. So that's shown 400% growth over the last couple of years. We've also got a 25% price increase coming on the 2nd of December. So the DAC coin is our community coin. And again, we have a lot more information around how that works and why investors are choosing it, which we can point you in the direction of. And we have a very competitive starting level. So our platform exists to serve from £100 on the DAC and the blue chip, and the precious metal bundle has an entry level of £200. Our average customer is probably spending a couple of £1,000s on crypto, and a significant proportion of our business is repeat purchase. So month in, month out, between 50 and 70% of our business would be our customers coming back to top up their crypto holdings. We have private individuals buying, we have company structures buying. The transfers to do that are free. And as I mentioned, we do have an Eire product coming in the new year, which we are super excited about because it will be, we believe, the only crypto Eire in the UK, which is really exciting. So look, I'm slightly over time, so just a little overview of how it works. Obviously, we've been in lockdown, I think it's 7 months of the last 11, something like that, 7 months the last 10. Anyway, it's not been much fun, I'm sure we can all agree. So we're very lucky that we have a process that is purely online. So you can set up an account from the privacy of your own home. You upload the Know Your Customer documents. That's a requirement from the FCA, our regulator. So we need a proof of ID, sort of passport or driving license, and proof of address, like a bank statement within the last 3 months. And once those are approved, you can fund your account and enjoy. It's a very simple, easy to navigate platform, which we have built in-house with our crypto specialist team. So last slide, hope you enjoyed this presentation, for those of you that are listening live and those of you on listen again. There's a lot of learning from Daxy. It's all free, easily accessible, no cost, no obligation. So do take advantage of that. We've got loads of resources on our website, which you can find at daxi.com under the Learn tab. We have loads of regular online events. Do come join us. Those are all listed also on our website, or feel free to talk to the person that introduced you to Daxy. So I will just stop recording.